Hey, what's up, YouTube? Um, I'm gonna show you tonight how I made $470 trading gold. I feel compelled to just reveal a little bit more on my thought process from my consistency series that I trade live every day trading gold from Sunday to Thursday. And I just feel so compelled because for someone starting out in trading, like this is what you want to see. You want to have days like this. You want to have days like this, yo. And this is all live. I ended up with $472 on the night after losing, messing up on a beautiful buy setup, but being patient because this is what the market is about. No, don't listen to people, you know, oh, I have the golden strat and I'm all this, all that. Show me your stats. Show us your process, bro. I'm not perfect. I'm learning. But a good night, a well executed night, a well planned night cannot be. You cannot shame a man. You cannot take it away from him that, yes, he has understood. Even the night is good. Give him his flowers because not many could perform this well. So, this was a trade that I took that allowed me to one, recover losses for the night, two, up $472 on my evaluation account. And as we can see here, running for a 1 to 2.6 trade. Ideally for this night, took only around four trades 1 year. Uh we had some I took around two here, five in total. So two, another one, and then this sell right here. This sell initially failed because I got out early. I sold right here and I got out in the pullback. And then when I realized that the pullback was only to this Fair Valley gap, and upon closure, preemptively selling in a bullish Fair Valley gap, many may look at, but I was bearish. So yeah, I was delivering from sell side liquidity. So let's jump on a different chart. Again, for those who don't know me, my name is Noble Investor. I am a futures day trader. I trade Asian session primarily, 1/3 member Triactive. And this is my journey. This is me coming forth by night and revealing to those watching, those interested, those whoever may stumble upon my video, this is just what I do as my passion and I love it. So why not share it, right? So let's start off with plotting some key levels on the day. So would have plotted daily high. And in fact, let me just plot it on the chart that, oh, I don't want to mess up any of that. So let me just plot it on this. Though inches might vary, but as a speed run, we'll get to the point for tonight. So coming in on the day, I would have plotted my key levels such as previous day high, previous day low, and also plotting out any other, yeah, those would have been key levels. Uh with those plotted, I would have then now added 4 hour highs as well. Just to ensure that I have enough enough zones, just not to be blindsided by any expansion movement or whatever. So coming in on the day, we can see that this candle, we had a rejection from this week out of this bullish pool of liquidity. We had a rejection out of it for consecutive days. So overall market daily analysis, daily bias would have been bearish for me. However, coming into market open, price initially was bullish. So we had bullish market structure, respecting bullish market structure and bullish market flow from this high right here. From this candle, there's a little bullish candle where we can already say that again, okay, given that this is a 4 hour high, it's an area of interest or price. And also for here, so would have plotted those PD arrays. But also to note, ICT concept, fair value gap, right here. No, a fair value gap, as we all know, in inefficiency area for price. I'd have plotted there, plotted here, because there's one also. It's a 3 candle sequence, but when you have two, you ideally want to look at the one above as the one that tends to have the most power, given that it tends to rest directly below an order block or a pool of liquidity. So would have had this fair value gap. My eyes would have been on this fair value gap. And here comes the market open. So market would have opened right here, 6 p.m. And ideally at 6 p.m., what I'm watching is this fair value gap right here. So I'm looking at this lower time frame fair value gap to see its validation, to see its strength, to see what price will do if it inverts it. Given that we got an inversion, I still didn't see any displacement or the candle that would qualify as a change in state of delivery would be all the way down here. So to get a complete reversal of these 4 hour highs based off a 3 minute setup would have been all the way down here at this week. Point to note, devil's wick candle. A candle without a wick. Devil's wick. Let's give it 2 arrows. It's that important. Someone. But pre-market. So we had that area. Well, let me remove that. I don't want to use that lower time frame. However, this became the trade that what I noticed happening was that regardless of the 3 minute candle, the 3 minute fair value gap being inverted, there was also a 5 minute fair value gap that price was also respecting. Same is true. Same isn't true for actually the micro chart. On the micro chart here, where you see my entry coincides with my statement, I was looking for buys within this area. As such, I took a trade that doesn't even qualify as good, given that I had an improper stop loss. So I'd have gotten my trade up here, which would have been to me the expansion out of the fair value gap, the 3 minute fair value gap, in which price was consolidating out of, which would have been top wick. And I placed my stops incorrectly, which the right place to place my stops in this scenario would have been below the candle that created the fair value gap. So even this week, good right here. But trading on the lower time frame does this for traders. In my particular scenario, not perfect, but that's what I did. Improper stop loss. And here's what happened. Price took me out. After price taking me out, price headed towards my draw and liquidity. Clearly outlined checklist shown on my live, and it's still on my chart because tonight was planned. Tonight was analyzed to account for areas in which I would like to enter the market and to develop my trade idea, to have bias, to have narrative, to have context. All of this was put into consideration. And for me, my context and narrative of this trade was built around one, there was a somewhat of a fake out on the 3 minute, but respecting 5 minute order flow. Like for this to be a true reversal of sweeping these highs right here, pre-market run highs, I would like to see and change in state of delivery down here. And as such, a little fake out to trick some people, and price proceeded to the draw and liquidity for to initiate buyers to take out previous sellers in the market. So the market push up higher to then trade lower. It's a market rule. The market trades high to then trades low, or it trades low to then trades high. How is this reflecting? And when we speak about time frame, it's about hours. It can take 2 hours to trade high and then take 5 hours to trade low. I can trade the price action can take literally 5 hours to trade high and in 30 minutes trade low. So given that we cannot expect or to always know, it's just a matter of being objective in the market. Where at what timestamp do you see a nearest objective being hit? And does price has the volume and the capacity to deliver in such scenario? Does your probability is the probability of you winning in favor of you losing? And if you do enter a trade, are you profitable? Will you end up reaching a target? And for this trade, I will say it was the right idea, bad execution. All I had to do was to drag my stops lower, resting below this 3 minute low, and I was risking around 4 contracts actually, which resulted in my first $200 loss for the night around here. Oh, six. Yeah, 6 cons. So resulted in my first $200 loss for the session. But ideally, if this trade had played out, the first trade I would have made $800. Partial in at around this zone. My partial was set for this zone. So that partial around $400 here. Let the trade run up to this 4 hour fair value gap, which again, my draw on liquidity is a 4 hour fair value gap and 4 hour highs. So that was my plan. Always. Never change. As such, I had to sit on my hands and to watch price trade into that zone and wait for a confirmation. Now, point of interest as well. We see clearly that on the 3 minute, we have the lowest fair value gap would have been here. Changing state of delivery, resting here. After the changing state of delivery, we got a fair value gap, a huge displacement downwards. There was a bit of mixed sentiment in could price go higher. But again, the conviction, the plan analysis that we're delivering from a 4 hour zone, and as such, lower time frame liquidity really isn't that significant to me. I want to see my analysis play out because one, I came in bearish. The 4 hour was bullish as we could see on this move. The 1 hour was bullish. And here we could analyze again further what happened after we reaching this 1 hour zone. There was a sweep in this 1 hour high, previous 1 hour high. Price closing in the body, in the range of the previous 1 hour with a Candle 3 delivery, such a beautiful delivery to be a part of. And I was, and as such, I tried to get in early, which tends to happen in somewhere this in between candle 2 and candle 3, where the market is still setting up. It still has to fill one inefficiency, trade back into either block, fill inefficiency, trade high, trade low. And as such, my first sells when I realized that they got stopped out prematurely, I was like, okay, let me wait. But the C price filled my favorably gap and then instant rejection. Again, you'll see on the live stream, and at this time I entered the market risking sufficiently, and I had a lot of pullback. There was a lot of pullback in this trade where I just said go like I had to one be convicted and remember, hey, I'm trying to hold on to a narrative, to be patient, because in trading high frequency doesn't work. Taking 10 trades, taking 18 trades, no. That's not trading. You sound like you're a gambler. To me that is. Because the professionals that I know, the people that I see doing numbers, people that I look up to and say, hey, you know what? Regardless of what anyone might say, you're changing your life. Yeah. So um this is not a joke. Nights like tonight are such a magical thing to experience. And even here you can see I had this 4 hour low, which when I came in and realized that, hey, you know what? Market did all of this and had this area. Where can I take TP given that price was all the way up here? My area of interest now shifted to, oh, we have a 4 hour low area of interest for sure. And then we had previously a low, which ideally delivering from a 4 hour fair value gap to a daily low is such a beautiful trade. And for the new traders out there and more experience, this is a bread and butter. This is something that if you see present itself in the same fashion and in a different direction, take this trade. And this is a note to self. Patience is a virtue that pays. Because I'm coming from someone that understands and is knowledgeable, but execute way too much. Chasing price. Chasing price in the direction that I know it's going. That was the old me. Parts of that individual is still alive, but I'm working each day to build this consistency mindset. And it's showing. I'm doing this to motivate me, but yeah, this is Noble Investor, man. This is how I'm going to execute for the rest of this year. Showing up and showing out. Consistency through execution. That's all, man. Manage your risk. Take trades that make sense. If you take a trade, don't be afraid. And you're not sure, man. If you can get out, you get out. Because I contemplate it. I contemplate it for sure. But you know what? I'm getting better. So, yeah. So for everybody, don't believe equity, balance, up from yesterday. We're trading, we're pushing, you know, coming up from I lost on last week Wednesday at around $700 to be up plus, to be up in profit by the next week, Monday, which is actually Tuesday in the market. So this is trading, this is real life. Um, and I don't want to be a recovery trader, but yeah. So love, if you like, subscribe. If you're missing the content, if you want to see me on my journey, man, I'll be here. I'm a show up for sure. And I'm gonna do this live, bro. I'm gonna do this live, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.